Some documents don't just inform you, they overwhelm you. Long emails, dense contracts, confusing invoices, and when your mind is already overloaded, understanding them becomes one more burden. The problem is not always intelligence. Sometimes the problem is the way information is written, too dense, too vague, too much at once. That is exactly why I built PaperCut. PaperCut is a cognitive clarity tool. It takes overwhelming documents and turns them into something much more human. Clarity, priorities, and action. Let me show you with a realistic example. I'm pasting a long project email filled with requests, deadlines, dependencies, and pressure. Instead of forcing me to process everything from scratch, PaperCut analyzes it for me. First, PaperCut tells me what this document actually is, not just a generic summary, but the real purpose behind it. In this case, it recognizes a follow-up email with multiple pending requests and time-sensitive actions. Then it shows me what matters most: deadlines, important requests, missing items, possible risks. This is where the experience changes, because now I'm not scanning noise, I'm seeing signal. And after that, it tells me what I should do now, not in vague language, but in actionable next steps. That means I can move from confusion to execution much faster. But PaperCut does more than summarize. It adapts the same information to the way I need to process it. Shorter, simpler, step by step, more literal, or focused only on risks. So instead of a wall of text, I get a version I can actually work with. Once I understand the document, PaperCut turns that understanding into an action board. So I'm not just reading anymore. I can see what to understand, what to decide, and what to do next. It reduces mental friction and makes the workload feel manageable. And when I need to reply, PaperCut gives me a strong starting point. It can generate a response draft grounded in the actual document, so I can move faster without starting from a blank page. It doesn't replace my judgment, it removes friction. PaperCut also includes reading and accessibility preferences to make the experience calmer, clearer, and easier to process. The goal is not to overload the user with more features. The goal is to make information feel less overwhelming. Because sometimes the real problem is not the person, it is the way the world presents information. PaperCut helps turn overload into clarity and clarity into action. And when the content still feels overwhelming, PaperCut adds another layer of support. Focused reading helps reduce visual noise. Read Aloud supports processing with guided audio. The reading guide makes it easier to stay on track. And One Thing Now highlights the next best action. Small changes like these can make information feel much more manageable.